Hello and welcome to the Studs Up podcast. This time we are going to do a preview of the next round of the English Premier League. I am Garfield. I'm here as always with Simon Says. If you would like to give us some feedback on Facebook, maybe give us your tips for the round, you can always find us. Just type in Studs Up. It's so easy. It comes straight up there. You can feed us with any comments that you'd like. In fact, we'd love to hear from you. Or you can visit our website, studsup-football.com. Now, as we always do now, at the beginning of these podcasts, I'm going to read out every single game, and Simon Says and I are going to basically go through our tips for the round. So here we go. Let's start off.
Which we've done separately, by the way. So
we
if there
always
are
do
any
this
similarities, it's just coincidental serendipity.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Burnley versus Crystal Palace.
I've gone 0-1 to the Palace.
I've gone 1-1.
Oh,
I've gone the draw.
You've gone the draw.
Yep. Manchester City versus Middlesbrough.
3-1 to the City.
I've gone 4-0 to City.
Woo.
Yep. Bournemouth versus Sunderland.
2-0 to the Cherries.
Gone 1-0 to the Cherries, against my better judgment. West Ham versus Stoke.
2-1 to the Hammers.
I've gone 1-1. Chelsea versus Everton.
3-2 to Chelsea.
Oh, I've gone 2-1 to Chelsea. Arsenal versus Tottenham.
2-1 to the Gooners.
I also went 2-1 to the Gooners. Damn.
Buzz, don't kill us.
Yeah, I'm going to have some angry... Anyway. Hull versus Southampton.
0-2.
I also went 0-2. I went for Southampton 2-0. Liverpool versus Watford.
3-1
I also went 3-1. What the hell?
This is getting weird. Stop it.
Okay. Swansea versus Manchester United.
0-3 to the Red Devils.
I went 2-0 to the Red Devils. And finally, Leicester City versus West Bromwich Albion.
1-0 to the Foxes.
I went 2-0 to Leicester.
Nice.
So there you go. That's our tips for this round. We are averaging about, I think, 6 games around between us.
We are. We're doing okay. I mean,
Yeah,
like you said, I think you've said it a couple of times now. 2 of us equals 1 Robbie Savage.
Yeah. Between us.
We're going to make a war cry about that.
There's only 2 half
There's
of
only
Robbie
2 of
Savages.
us, and together we make 1 Robbie Savage.
Just the
I can't
2
sing.
of us,
It's so bad.
Savage and I. I don't know. I'll work on that one. Anyway.
We've got a couple there that we're quite different on, and I kind of want to explore a couple of those.
Okay, well, please explore away.
I just want to know what your thought process is behind the Stoke draw with the Hammers. I mean, you know, the Hammers, poor form aside, they seem to be semi out of that.
They are definitely getting out of it. I just think Stoke are in good enough form.
Away from home, though?
Yeah, no, I can still see them getting a point. Well, but West Ham are worse at home.
That's true.
Their form at home is appalling.
I just think they're always a game away from breaking that hoodoo.
Yeah, but they're always a game away from their fans apparently rioting and ripping up half the stand. So,
you don't like West Ham now? You don't like Hammers fans?
I really like West Ham.
Why are you so brutal?
I'm constantly blowing bubbles. It's fine.
What is wrong with you? I just don't get it.
Don't you turn this against me now.
By the time this podcast season is
everyone.
over. Yeah. It's like, but I love United. No, you hate
You
United.
hate United
fans.
So I think maybe 1-1 in that game. You know what I think?
The honest truth is I sort of get it. That was one of the...
yeah.
I found that really hard to tip. Yeah.
But I think with West Ham's kind of back 3 or back 5, depending on how you look at it, I really do think that Stoke's wingers could get at them.
Yeah.
I think Arnautovic
Depends if they have a hot
really,
game.
Yeah, they are a hot and cold team, but I'm tipping a draw because I think they'll be hot enough without being,
Fair enough. Look, another
boiling.
one we tipped differently. Mind you, there weren't many, were there?
What about Burnley versus Crystal Palace?
Burnley and Palace, that's one I saw. Yeah, okay, so you're essentially saying that Heaton will just continue this form.
I think Heaton is going to be unstoppable now for the remainder of his short career. He will go down as England's greatest ever kid. No, I'm clearly being hyperbolic.
That is amazing. I love that. I literally love that.
Well, I think, Burnley at home, I think Palace are a very hot and cold team. I think they still have a goal in them against Burnley, but I think Burnley at home, at Turf Moor, can get a point out of that. I'm going with 1-1.
I think short of these, I'm going to say fortunate goals they seem to be scoring, like that match against Everton just made no sense.
No sense.
The match against Liverpool, 2
no
shots.
sense.
I mean, again, no sense. I don't think that happens every week, so I don't know if goals is a Burnley staple. I don't think goals are in their staple diet.
But they work hard and they'll do really well at home to try and block out. Remember, like Crystal Palace are a big team for crossing. And what do we see their centre-backs do a lot? Head the ball really well. Clear the ball really well.
Yeah, fine. I pay that, but I also think that it just takes one set piece for Scott Dan to get his head on, or Benteke, or I mean, they've got a few guys who can knock that away.
Yeah, or one Zaha or Townsend piece of magic, or Puncheon, or what.
They've got it
I get it. They do, but
MacArthur
yet
just proved against Liverpool 2-headed goals.
Yeah, but they are still, like, in terms of, the last 35, 40 matches, still one of the worst form teams in the Premier League at Crystal Palace.
I think you're wrong on this one, but anyway, that's fine.
Look, and I would be happy to be wrong, but I'm going with the draw because that's what my gut told me to do.
Well, I'm going with Pardew's Palace.
Well, I'm going with...
the plosive, isn't
I'm going with
Pardew's Palace.
Pardew's Palace.
Pardew's Palace.
Ew, let's go to Pardew's Palace for some tea and scrumpets.
A little bit lame, isn't it? It's like Pardew's Palace sounds like one of those really ultra lame, amusement parks.
Okay.
In some small town.
I was totally going another way with that. I was thinking like a 1960s sitcom, like, let's go down to Pardew's Palace. And it'd be like Hogan's Heroes, but it'd be all about, it'd be like Downton Abbey meets 60s comedy, where they all sit around drinking tea
like
and then get into like slapstick, like Benny Hill music.
Yeah, okay, I could see that.
That's my Pardew's Palace. Yeah. Pardew's Palace. That's my idea of Pardew's Palace.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, I think it's going to be Tom Heaton 1, Crystal Palace 1. I think that's how that's going to happen.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, fair enough. Look, I mean, our scores are practically identical in almost everything, which is... What the hell? How many did we tip the same? Really too many. But the Chelsea-Everton one is interesting. I just think, as far as matches go, that is... It's not game of the round. Arsenal-Tottenham's game of the round.
That is clearly the game of the round.
But the second game of the round is definitely Chelsea-Everton. If there's... I mean, I'm being unkind to Everton, but I think that... could they beat them? For sure they could.
Yeah.
For sure they could do it.
Chelsea are on great form, though.
I just got some question marks over Everton in defence a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think without Skeletonberg, I think they look... more vulnerable, yes. Don't get me wrong, though. Their backup keeper looked okay once he got settled.
Yeah.
He looked pretty good. But I think Chelsea's going to be a very different prospect, and I just don't know if they're going to be able to keep out. I just think this is a goal fest in the making. You watch, it's going to be a 1-0 grafter. And I'm just going to be sitting here going next week, so let's just kind of skim over this game.
No, it reeks of one of those games where Koeman might just come out, shut up shop, and hope that Lukaku smashes them on the break.
Like what they did to City,
and you know what? It might well work for them.
Yeah.
There's a few managers in the league who will actually attack Chelsea's back three with aplomb. And Koeman could be one of them.
Yeah, I mean, he knows he's got it with Balassi and Lukaku. I mean, they've got it in them. They've got
and the old little
Barkley, and I mean, they've got attacking intent.
And that old little the kid from Barcelona, Defoulu or whatever his name is.
Deulofeu, yeah.
Deulofeu.
Yeah.
He's also he's been very inconsistent, but he's quick and he's got
on
some
his
tricks.
Day.
Yeah.
On his day.
I mean, you put Balassi, you put Lukaku, you put him up against their back three, let him run at them.
I agree.
You never know.
I agree with you. I mean, David Luiz is always a step away from a calamity. Stepping on a rake.
Yeah. Stepping on that rake.
It just has to happen. You should probably watch The Simpsons before you listen to this podcast, because that's half our humour. The other half is Seinfeld. You could basically cover our entire quote humour.
Yeah, by just watching those two shows.
Yeah, that's all we got.
Yeah, no, that's it. It's not even ours.
We're so bad.
Yeah. There's clearly going to be goals in that game, you would think, on paper.
I think so. You'd have to... I mean, I picked 3-2, which is not a common result.
No.
Not a common result. But if there's ever going to be a game to do it, I think this could be it.
Yeah, no, it could be it.
I mean, could Everton score 2 goals against that defence?
Yeah,
absolutely. But could Chelsea knock 3 in?
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
You know, just Costa and Hazard, that's 2 already.
Yeah.
Pick the other one from wherever.
Yeah, pick Willian or pick Oscar.
It doesn't matter who you pick.
Or pick Kante, apparently, who can now score ridiculous goals for no apparent reason.
Yeah, so no, I just think if there's going to be one of those games, it's going to be that one.
While we're on Chelsea, just really quickly, did you hear Sir Alex Ferguson's comments this week about them not being in the 5 title contenders?
You know, I absolutely did hear it, and I agree. But I think you nailed it on the head with the same thing you said about United. I think applies to Chelsea. I think that whilst they've clearly got the side now to do it, I think that they've now fallen so far behind, and even if they continue this sort of form, can I see them getting above all of those teams? No, I can't. So therefore, they're not really a contender.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I just wanted to ask to see your opinion on it.
I mean, top 4 for sure. I mean,
they could definitely hit top 4.
Of course they could. That definitely. But I can't see them displacing. There's too many games here where it just takes a game like this now against Everton where the momentum is with them. You think, it's so obviously, Chelsea is probably the right choice to win the game. But then
they get done
Everton
3-1 on the break. And
Everton wins 3-1.
Yeah.
And you sit there going, at the bridge?
Yeah,
and they
what?
lost?
How? What? Why?
I mean, I get it. I sort of get it. Both, and then we're sitting here in the podcast saying, well, David Luiz stuffed up. He lost Lukaku at halfway. And
they were playing against one of the best managers in the league, and he just had them on the day. Yeah,
and then suddenly, you're looking at it going, oh, well, actually, no, they don't look that good.
All of a sudden, now they're
contenders.
5th, yeah.
Yeah, so I just don't... I think giving up ground this early has put them really far behind the rest of the pack, even though it's not far behind. They're 1 point.
I know,
one point behind
nothing,
that pack.
Yeah.
But I just can't see them consistently getting above those guys often enough to necessarily be contenders. However, I don't know anything because I tipped United to win the league, and they're not even going to make Champions League at this rate. So I'm clueless.
Oh, it cuts me so deep.
Yeah, I'm
when
sorry.
You say that.
Yeah, I know it does.
And I kind of know it's true.
Yeah.
And it hurts even more.
Yeah, I totally get it. Your gravelly voice makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah,
welcome to my life as a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, I guess you got nearly 3 decades of it. I can let you have a season.
Yeah. Especially if we win it. That'd be weird. This would be great. Like, we start this podcast out of nowhere, and suddenly I'm sitting at the end of the season going, well, that was interesting. That kind of went well.
I would be shutting this thing down so quickly.
It'd be done. One season wonder.
We'd get to the last game of the season, and if you guys won the title, I just wouldn't show up. And you don't know how to use the equipment, so the podcast would just mysteriously vanish off the face of the earth.
I'd record it on my phone. Yeah. And it's like, why is the quality so bad?
And it'd go for 2 minutes, and it'd just be, yes! Oh my God,
that's all it would be. You wouldn't even hear. I'd be incoherent. I would be incandescent with happiness. It'd be amazing. It'd be great.
I've ruined the day.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Arsenal-Tottenham, we're going to make a lot of people angry with that. But can they really rebuke that tip? Sure. Can Tottenham win and reverse that score?
Definitely can.
Of course they can.
They definitely can.
My tip actually does not say at all that the reverse is impossible.
Not on the least.
I simply tipped Arsenal on what looks like some good... It looks like they've arrested the... they looked a bit innocuous for quite a few weeks in a row where they were just kind of scraping results, and then they had that 0-0 against Middlesbrough, and I think they really pulled the finger out this time. Wenger made the right substitutions at the right times, got that victory, and their players look like they're really in form.
And he has the best squad he's had at his disposal since the Invincibles.
For sure.
There is
no doubting it. There is no doubting it. But they definitely didn't miss Xhaka in that side.
No, but they will eventually.
Didn't miss him.
But they will eventually.
Didn't miss Xhaka at all.
Yeah, but he's still a very good player.
Didn't miss him at all.
Yeah, but he's still a very good player.
Not one bit.
Very good play.
Did you like that?
Yeah, no, I did, but...
Not one bit.
It's pretty good, actually.
It's not bad, right?
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. Anyway, no, I think this is one of those... This is probably the hardest one to tip in this entire round.
Oh, yeah. Because literally, any result or any score, I sit there going, yeah.
But you know what? If the game was reversed, as in if Tottenham were at White Hart Lane, I'd probably go 2-1 to Tottenham.
I would have been tipping Tottenham.
Yeah.
I just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
I think the home ground advantage for me is what pushed me in favour.
Yeah, and you know what? That's definitely the game of the round. So if you listen to next week's review podcast, we're probably going to open that game and give it a good whack of time because it's going to be fascinating. I'm
I look forward to
already
it.
over the moon to see how Tottenham's very good defence handles that fluid front four of Arsenal.
It could be the best match to watch since the first game of the season, Liverpool and Arsenal.
Yeah, no, it really could be. It could be an absolute humdinger.
I think so.
To use Jim Ross's WWE words.
Yeah.
A humdinger.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, well, I had to use it sometime.
Yeah, that was a really tough one. I mean, some of the others are pretty self-explanatory. I know we both went for a Man United victory against Swansea.
Yeah.
You went a little bit tighter than I did. I'm just... Okay, this is what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
I keep seeing in my mind this picture of a dam. And they're raining down all these shots.
Yep.
And think of all of these shots that aren't going in as raindrops. And they're going into this dam.
Right.
That dam is full. It needs to be released
Yep.
or it's going to burst.
Yeah.
And when it bursts, someone is going to get spanked.
Yeah.
So I keep expecting a bit of a spanking to relieve some of that water pressure
Yeah.
that is building up in this dam. And I think that dam is United, and United are going to get these goals. When is it coming?
I don't know.
When is it coming?
I'll tell you, well, if it hasn't come by Christmas, I'm going to be sitting here going, I give up. I don't know what to do
It's
anymore.
not coming.
It's just, I don't know what to do anymore.
And then they go for this ridiculous, 14-game winning streak where they win every game minimum of 2 goals, and suddenly we're sitting there in, the beginning of March
going,
saying,
how are they all of a sudden contenders out
they're
of
like
nowhere?
third now, and they've got the most goals in the league. What?
Yeah.
I don't want to write anybody off. I hate these conversations that we have every week going, so-and-so has kind of slipped off as a contender now, because you know what? No one really has.
No. You know what, though? This is the game...
To contradict myself.
This is the game I would actually drop Ibra from.
Yeah, why
I'd
not?
rest Ibrahimovic in this particular
Take
game.
a rest, mate.
Yep.
Get your bearings.
You're on the
again.
bench.
Yeah.
Well, if we need you...
Play Mkhitaryan.
Yes, please, for the love of God, at least put him on the bench. That's all I don't ask for much, Mourinho.
Yeah.
You know what? I only ask you for really 2 things. Drop Rooney, bring in Mkhitaryan.
That's it.
Isn't that hard?
That is really all he asks
That's
for.
all I ask. You know what? You can finish 0-0 draws for the rest of the season with 37 shots at goal if you just get rid of Rooney and you play Mkhitaryan.
Do you feel
I'll
like
still be upset, but
do you
it'll
feel
be
like
fine.
perhaps you cashed in all of your wish bonds by getting Pogba and seeing Rooney eventually get dropped?
Yeah, I think that's me done
cashed
for
them
a
all in?
decade.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
that is just my luck run
just wanted to
dry
check
for
that out.
all time. Yeah.
Yeah, you cashed in those checks.
Yeah. I'm going to die lonely and alone because I cashed in those 2 amazing checks, and it's all gone belly up for me. It's all
think
gone
so.
tits up.
I think you cashed him
I've
in a little
become
early.
George.
Yeah, you have. But I think that's my dam break. I think 3-0 would change United, kind of snapping back.
You know who I would love to see?
Gylfi Sigurdsson's going to score
I
some
know,
screamer.
It's going to be ridiculous. Olorente is just going to come on and just somehow, because we'll be playing Rojo again at centre back, and he'll just crush us.
Sorry, that is so funny to
I
me.
know. Every
I
time
thought he was done.
I know. Every time I see him in the team, I'm just like,
I just thought he was done. Where did
he
he
is
come
done.
from?
He's done.
Where
He should be done.
Where did he come from?
I'd rather play like the 14-year-old reserves than play Rojo. He's
feel like-
terrible.
Do you remember when Apu kind of loses it at Skinner? And he's like, what were you thinking? One of the greatest movies of all time, sir. This is what I feel. My frustration is exactly the same.
Yeah.
When I look at that team and he does these things,
Yeah.
I'm like, Mourinho, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Do you not know, sir?
Yeah, why are you playing Jurassic Park football?
And please come again.
Please come again.
I don't know what to say.
That's the problem.
This is my feeling.
Keep coming again.
This is my feeling.
By the way, the front 4 I would play in that game, I'd play Rashford up top.
Yep.
I'd play Martial on the left. I'd play Mkhitaryan on the right, and I'd play Mata in behind at number 10.
Can I just say, that frightens me, that front 4.
That's a front 4, baby.
That frightens me.
With Ibra on the bench to come on with 35 minutes to go if you need him to just start wham bam thank you mammon.
That's a freakish front 4. That reminds me of Liverpool in what we could do and how fluid we are, and and what I love about Liverpool's season, and you know what, and to some extent Arsenal's as well. Just looking at the way they play and that interplay. I mean, United probably wouldn't have to walk it in with that group of players.
Yeah.
Zing. But I could see them really causing havoc because you just know that Rashford would kind of be in the middle, then he'd be on the left, and then he'd be on the
drift
right. Martial would kind of then fill in, and then Mata would come through the middle.
Mkhitaryan would just play anywhere across the line.
So that would be a really intriguing test, and I think if you're going to test it, I agree with you. Why
this
not
is the game
with Swansea?
Yeah.
Why
An
not?
out of form Swansea, even if it is away from home, why not test it?
Give it a go.
What's the drama?
Give it a bash.
Anyway, we've spent a hell of a lot of time on that game, so let's move on to
I agree.
another really good game in this round, by the way. Leicester versus West Bromwich Albion. Only because I want to see how West Brom bounce back. This is the kind of game where, again, they could actually be okay.
You say that, but I also think what they're going to do is, I think this is going to be the battle of both teams trying to cede possession, both teams trying to essentially allow the other to counterattack.
No, I agree wholeheartedly.
And, that's why I picked a 1-0. I just think they're going to... Eventually, Leicester's going to sit there going, if we keep counterattacking counterattacker, we're both sitting in our own halves. The ball is sitting in the middle of the field, untouched.
It'll be, again, like that Simpsons. Centre, pass to wing, back to centre, to centre. Like, it's going to be ridiculous.
Literally, I can see something like that eventually.
I kind of agree that they're both going to try and counterattack each other unless Leicester take the initiative. But this is what plays into West Bromwich Albion's plan so well, which is why I could see it being so low scoring.
Yeah.
So I kind of think...
Can I say something about Leicester, though? And I want to see if you agree. I mean, I was kind of musing this with somebody else and that they were interested in my theory. Didn't quite back me on it, but they were interested enough to, listen to hear me out. Yeah. My theory is that Leicester...
And that's all the time we've got this week.
That's right. Leicester, as a side, got away with always ceding possession and getting their number one game plan, which was counterattack. Yeah. Because everyone just kind of looked at Leicester and said, you're relegation fodder, therefore I'm going to just smack you out of the park. And then they would say, no, you're not. And then they would win these games.
Until the last 10 matches of the season, 12 games of the season, where teams figured out, you know what we have to do here.
And then it didn't go so well.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden everything tightened up, but they still found ways of winning those matches in the last kind of 10, 12 games of that season.
It helped that Vardy and Mahrez were just inspired.
They were just, it was, one season wonder kind of form. I'm not saying they can't have seasons like that again.
Of course.
But the two of them together, you'll probably never see that as good as that again.
Absolutely. So my theory went that... potentially, Leicester now have this additional pressure that people now look at them as contenders, or whatever that means, whether it's contenders for Champions League or for the title or whatever. Yeah. That's how they were viewed. And now it's almost expected that they will take it a little bit to some of the opposition. And I don't mean against everybody. I still think they'll be expected to play counterattack against Arsenal, against City,
they should be.
Against Liverpool. It didn't work against some of those teams, but... yeah. But you get it.
Yeah, right? Totally.
Chelsea, whoever, United. Yeah. But not against someone like WBA.
No, they should try and take the stranglehold on the game.
But what I will say, having theorized that I think that now there's pressure on them to actually attack, I actually think that they're set up better for an attacking game rather than a counter-attacking game now with the loss of Kante.
Yes.
I actually think they're 4-4-2 if they're going to play that. With the players they now have in midfield and in attack, I think a more attacking game is probably the right move. I think they need to remember that they don't need to play exactly the same.
No, you're
just
right,
because it worked,
yeah,
you can still change and be good.
Well, it's not even change; it's evolving within your system.
I mean, and Liverpool was good as a counter-attacking force under Rodgers, but the team evolved to become what we are now, which is a possession and attacking force. Similar to a Barcelona, but nowhere near as good.
No.
But that vein. Yeah. That vein, that philosophy, if you will. So I just think that Leicester in a game against West Brom, your 2-0 sounds good to me if they play that way. If they go all out for it, because they got goals in them.
They do. They
Whether
should
it's
have goals in
Slimani
them.
or Vardy or Musa, if Musa is even alive, I don't know.
Yeah, if he's got out of the hospital yet.
Yeah, I mean, do we have any word on that? Is he?
I have no idea.
He looked broken.
Yeah, he was broken.
He looked really broken. So, but whatever. Point is, they've got the strike force to bang in goals.
And you still have a player as good as Mahrez who can open up defences on his day as good as anyone in the league.
Why stick to counter-attack when you've got the proper attack?
Look, I agree.
Drop the counter.
No, I agree. They should be evolving into a more aggressive team against sides like WBA. I'm in agreement with you.
Oh, that's great.
Whether or not they will, I mean, they should. They have one of the best tinker managers in the world.
So they should be able to do it theoretically.
They should be able to tinker and get it right.
Do you recall the game against Chelsea where they were getting battered?
Yes.
But then when they reverted to a more attacking game...
Yeah.
It was still counter-attacking-ish, but they really took the game to Chelsea and they looked much better.
Yeah.
They had a counter-attacking setup in that they shifted to 5 at the back.
Yeah.
But those 2 wing-backs were really pushing far forward.
Really
so they were like default wingers, really.
Yeah.
Well,
he matched Chelsea's formation to try and push their wing-backs back, and he succeeded
better
very well.
in attack.
Yeah.
They looked better in attack. Probably the best I've seen them against any of the top sides this season for
I
that
agree.
20 minutes or so.
Yeah, I agree.
And then he went back to his old game and it failed again.
I don't know, he freaked out.
So I just think that I want to see that against West Brom and I'll be interested to see what happens there.
No, I agree. If he can take control of the midfield, they should win that game comfortably. Is all I'm going to say.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad someone agrees with me.
Yeah, no, I kind of get where you're coming from.
I got a more lukewarm reaction last time, so I was curious to float that idea.
I do.
here.
I kind of agree. I think that evolution is needed within that team against the smaller sides in the league, because we saw at the back end of last season that I said the game plan had stopped working. Anyway, let's move on. How about Hull versus Southampton? We both went 2-0 on this.
We did, but I mean, it could be more. I just don't know. It could be 6-0.
I know.
I just don't know. I feel so bad for Hull because I don't dislike Hull. Davies, I like Davies as a defender.
Great little defender.
You know, he's England quality defender in a side that just makes him look bad.
Yeah.
You know, they've got, I mean, Abel Hernandez is not a bad striker.
Yeah, he's all right.
You know, they've got some...
Yeah, Jake Livermore was always a good prospect.
Yeah, they can do better, but they just don't have enough players.
No.
They don't have enough players.
Or enough quality across the park. They have...
Correct.
They have 6 or 7...
Snodgrass.
Yeah, they have kind of 7 Premier League quality players
Which is not enough.
and only 15 overall.
Yeah.
So you're always
good
gonna
percentage.
Yeah. Yeah. If I was Barcelona and I only had 15 players, but 7 of them were Lionel Messi, I'd be excited.
You'd probably win.
Yeah, I would still win, but
man,
yeah, no,
Look,
it's a struggle for them. And Southampton,
they've got goals in them.
They do.
And the thing is, they've got the right sort of players to trouble Hull.
Yeah.
They've got some strength in the air.
Yep.
They've got some good finishes. They've got speed.
They do.
They've got creativity.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see him kind of actually, you know, going with someone like Ward-Prowse and really causing Hull a lot of problems.
Yeah, just
kind of like
whipping
that,
in those set pieces.
Yeah, whipping in those set pieces, you know, getting their strikers on the end of it.
Well, I
Austin.
think this is one of those games where you could play Austin, Buffal, and Redmond in a kind of 4-3-3 and just let them go. You know?
I would love to see them play a 4-3-3 in this match.
Yeah.
I think if they're going to do it,
this is the game to do it.
I could see them doing what Liverpool did to Hull.
Yeah, it's possible.
Same setup sort of
because
thing.
Poor Hull.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, how about this one? Bournemouth versus Sunderland.
I mean, we were pretty close on that. I mean, you're tipping a closer game than I am.
You know what? I was so desperate to pick a draw in this game.
So was I.
I cannot.
Bournemouth's in too good form, though.
And I cannot back Sunderland.
At home as well.
Yeah, I don't see where they're going to get a goal. And if I do see them getting a goal, then I see them conceding two.
For sure.
I mean,
look what happened against Arsenal. They just capitulated. They've got so little belief that once something doesn't go their way and it feels as though they've been broken, they really break.
Yeah.
They shatter.
I know.
So, and away from home, I mean, technically speaking, maybe that's what they need to be away from home. Maybe the expectations are too high and they're feeling the pressure. So perhaps what I'm going to say doesn't make sense. But on the flip side, Bournemouth at home look really good.
They do. Like, the Cherries look great at home. I mean, they're starting to integrate all their good players now. It's a tight-knit little squad, but when it gets going, it gets going. They might do them in 4-0.
They could.
You know, they really could.
They could do it. They've got the goals in them. I mean,
they've got the firepower.
When they start clicking,
yeah,
I don't know why I had to
good.
click to kind of prove what I was saying. That's bizarre.
It's audio. It's fine. It makes sense.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, when they click, they look really good. So
no, they do. All right. How about City versus Middlesbrough? I went big. I went 4-0 because I just see another spanking.
I think that's a little unfair to Middlesbrough. I think they're better than that. I mean, 3-1,
no,
it's not like I've exactly tipped a close encounter.
Yeah.
But I feel like they've got a goal in them. Because
they might score.
I don't believe in that City defence. I don't.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not fully convinced on Bravo and Stones in particular.
I think, though, that Middlesbrough are on the same kind of level as WBA. And if West Bromwich Albion are being thumped away from home by 4, City at home have got 4 in them again.
And I totally follow your logic.
And you know what?
And
it's
that not
team,
often I ever say that.
That team, though, look at the amount of goals that City have got in them.
I'm not going to disagree, but it's the same team that kind of was insipid, you know, in previous weeks.
I think Pep's been working with them, and I think he's getting them there. I think it's slowly starting to click.
What I will say is, though, I think that those sides showed a lot more. I mean, Everton showed a lot of defensive solidarity.
Yeah.
And Sklettenberg is a better keeper.
Definitely.
So I don't know if Middlesbrough's got the same resolve.
No.
I am tipping 3-1, by the way. I'm just suggesting that I can see them nipping a goal.
Yeah, I get it. So could I. But I can also see them getting thumped.
Yeah, it might be
and
7-1, and I'll be sitting going, they got that goal.
They got that goal.
but someone says they copped 7. I'm like, ignore that.
Yeah.
Dinner's on you, because I said they'd get a goal. You know?
Yeah, it's the game show that's sweeping the nation. Dinner's on Garfield.
It really is.
Yeah,
It's great.
wow. All right, let's move to the last game of this round. I left it till last. Liverpool versus Watford.
Save the best for last.
Oh, so we're going back to the United game.
Liverpool
okay, well,
3-1. I mean, it makes
we
sense.
both went
tipped it.
3-1.
I just know Liverpool's going to concede. I don't think I will tip. This is a big call here. I just don't think I'm going to tip a
0 for the rest of the season.
A clean sheet for Liverpool.
What about against Hull?
Until I see back-to-back clean sheets.
What? Oh, okay. What if they play Hull next week at Anfield?
Still not enough. How would that? Why would I tip that? I still think we would bundle an own goal if we had to, just because that's what we do. It's like we don't feel complete.
What from now on we call the Watford way?
Yeah, why not?
A goal without a shot on target.
Yeah.
The Watford way.
The Watford way. I don't mind that. I mean, you should probably trademark it, because I might as soon as
really.
Yeah.
Can we put that on a shirt? It's a long slogan.
Well, you'll have to
the
pay me,
Watford
because
way.
I'm going to trademark it.
Not if patent pending. You all heard it.
Too late.
You all heard it.
I said it first.
All right, yeah. So we're in agreement on that one. We think it's going to be exactly what you would think that game's going to be.
I would actually hope that Liverpool, maybe takes a little bit of a chance there and maybe start Sturridge, just to give him a game that I think he could score a goal in.
Well, I would say this: be a little bit wary of Watford.
Oh, for sure. After what they did to United,
Yeah, they're above us in the table now.
I won't soon forget it. I just can't help but fathom that's not going to stay that way. Okay.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't think
It's
so.
not.
But weirder things have happened.
Yes, but Pogba.
Yeah. It should be enough alone.
It should be enough.
I know.
So I refuse to believe that.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens.
So, I think I would like Liverpool to take a risk there. I would like that.
No, I get it. And you know what? And it should be a safe result for you, because that team has goals in it. But anyway, we may as well wrap this podcast up there, is what I was trying to say. If you guys want to get in contact with us, you always can. Just go to Studs Up on our Facebook page. It's so easy to find. You just type it in. We come straight up. You can leave us comments about our tips. You can give us your own tips if you want. You can tell Simon Says what an idiot he is for never wanting to tip a clean sheet ever again for Liverpool for the rest of his natural life.
You'd be right.
Or you can leave a comment about how great I am and how I never should owe him dinner. I don't mind either way. Also, you can find us on our website. Just go to studsup-football.com, as Simon Says is pissing himself in the background.
I just don't want anyone to write in and say that. I like changing the rules as we go.
Please write in.